This is the Cochise County Board of Supervisors work session Tuesday, May 7th, 2024 at 2 p.m. in the Board of Supervisors hearing room, 1450 Melody Lane, Building G, Bisbee, Arizona, 85603, in case you're going to mail anything to us, pursuant to ARS 38-431.02H. The public will have physical access to the meeting place 15 minutes prior to the start of the meeting. Any item on this agenda is open for discussion. And we'll have the roll call. Tom Crosby, District 1 is here. Is District 2 represented here today? Is District 3 represented here today? Okay, so we have 1 out of 3 supervisors in attendance. Members of the public may also attend this meeting via Microsoft Teams, computer or mobile app or phone via calling 602-609-7513 or 888-680-6714, conference ID 604-678-034#. If you have trouble accessing this meeting remotely, call 520-432-9200 for direction. Work sessions are a time for county staff to inform and discuss agenda items with the Board of Supervisors, and public comment will not be taken. So today for our presenter, we have Ms. Jackie Watkins, Director of Engineering and Flood Control. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Would you like to present to the board today, Madam Watkins?
Thank you, Supervisor Crosby. So this is the update on our projects for last quarter. We're continuing to do Mosen Road. We have the $2 million for design, $1 million from service MPO, and the $6.1 million that we accepted from the Arizona legislatures, and that funds is in our bank account, so we do have those funds. It's being administered by ADOT because of the requirements for federal funds. And Kimberly Horn is the design consultant, and the scope and fees are being negotiated by ADOT, and they're in that process now. The fee is up to about like 1.7 at the moment for the design, and we should have that finalized this summer and hopefully bring to the board in July an IGA for that project on acceptance for the design. And then it will take them all of 2025 for the design of it. And if we will have funds to do one phase of construction. We'll have at least $5 million, and we will, during design, decide which phase, and it will be somewhere between Ramsey Road and Highway 90 on Mosen. You might do that big dip section there that would require more like a bridge structure, and to help with some of the site distance problems we have at that location for the residents there. So that project is still ongoing. Then our Davis Road projects, mileposts 5 and 13, there's to drainage. And this Davis Road is one of the major projects in the county because of the new port of entry that's going in Douglas for commercial. We need an all-weather crossing on Davis Road, and 513 mileposts are the last 2 remaining mileposts that we typically close the road for flooding. And that project has been started since 2003. We have $2.89 million from discretionary funds from Senator Kelly, and we will use some of our county HERF funds, the Highway User Revenue Funds, for the construction costs, which we anticipate right now to be $6.5 million. We are updating the design. The design was completed, but we have to just update it since it's been over 5 years for the NEPA clearance. And ADOT will have oversight of construction, and that project we hope to have out to bid this fall so that they can do construction over the winter before monsoons happen again. So that project is ongoing. Then Davis Road, Highway 80 to North Central. That was a RAISE grant that we got last year, and we are going through Federal Highways to administer that project. That will save us some funds on our NEPA clearance. We will have the IGA done this summer. We've been talking to Federal Highways, and we have monthly meetings with them to get everything done that they require. And the estimated construction cost would be $73 million, but we would go for grants for that. We don't have the funds for those. So we would then keep applying for more grants for that project. And Davis Road Central to Highway 191. We're still in the process of acquiring right-of-way. We've closed on some of the properties. We have 3 pending acquisitions. We have 2 more that will go to escrow with the Pioneer Title this month or June. And then the other 3 acquisitions, the property owners have had their own appraisals done so that they will come back with a counter offer. So we're waiting for them to come back with us. We're completing the design. We had a 95% design. We're updating the design. We have the consultant. We met with them out in the field, had a field review 2 weeks ago. So we will have that design updated. And then with the right-of-way, we can hopefully find funds for construction. We did apply for a grant this year. We've applied for $7.1 million. We'll see what we have to see if we have the funds to do that. And that would widen the intersection of Davis at 191 and at Central for turning movements for semi-trucks, so to make it a safer intersection. It'd still only be a 2-lane highway. The ultimate design for Davis is a 4-lane highway, divided highway, which would be sometime in the very future. There'd have to be a lot more traffic on the road to counter that.
Is that the amount of right-of-way that you're trying to acquire at this time for 4 lanes?
We are acquiring right-of-way for the 4 lanes so that we don't, so that part of the project would be completed. So when they do need to, someone hasn't built a house where the right-of-way is going to be. So it's for future.
Okay.
Yes.
Sounds like good planning. How much land needs to be acquired over there on Davis Road for our purposes? Including.
I think right now the project, what we're doing now is 34 acres. And I don't remember what the rest of it is. The county, we've declared it as a county highway, the whole distance all the way from 191 to 80. That's giving the property owners, if someone sells them stuff, when they do a title search, they'll find that out. But we have not acquired that right away. We have to have NEPA clearance before we can acquire right away with federal funds.
What does a NEPA clearance consist of?
That's the National Environmental Protection Agency for environments. They do archaeological research to see if there's any ancient history artifacts. Because at Milepost 9 we did find some. There were some pits at that place. And so we had to have archaeologists come in and do digs on the property to get clearance on it.
What the acronym RAISE, we're talking about how acronym heavy everything is. What's the RAISE grant? No, that's okay. Well,
it's something about rural
accessibility, infrastructure.
Yeah.
Whose grant is it? Who is
federal. It's federal funds.
Okay, thank you.
Federal.
That's all my questions at this time. Thank you.
This was the oversized load. I always keep a picture in there just to say what size trucks go down Davis. But this is what went through earlier this month or end of last month, going from New Mexico over to California. So it was, 120 tons, 241,000 pounds. They have large vehicles that go through there. Then the Douglas Port of Entry. This is a project with Cochise County, the city of Douglas, and ADOT. And it's still in the design phase for where the connector road is. There's 3 options. And I do have updated costs. These costs here were, ADOT is doing the grant. We submitted a grant yesterday for $43 million that ADOT helped write the grant for us. And now the construction costs with the design and right-of-way is $78 million. And so the grant is for $43 million, and it will be to go to the new port of entry, the land port of entry that the federal government is building. They're taking the existing port of entry and making it the one in Douglas just for pedestrians and passenger cars, and moving all the commercial truck traffic to the west. And the federal government expects to have that port open, constructed by 2028.
Yeah, that'd be pretty amazing.
And then we have more in-house projects. We have 61 bridges that I mentioned last time, and we're meeting tomorrow with the consultant to finalize the scope to have that project. So they'll take all of the 61 bridges we have and all the reports that ADOT does, because ADOT inspects them. By federal law, ADOT has to inspect all the bridges in the state. They do it for county agencies, for local agencies. And so there's 61 in Cochise County, and some of them are from the 30s and 40s. So we need to come up with a plan to replace those and to repair them. So we're going to get a 20-year plan for repair and replacement of those bridges. So we'll have a structural engineer help us with that. And then the sidewalks and sun sites, and that's from Justin Street to Treasure. We did a rough survey. Now we're doing a more detailed design survey to study the options, and we've met with some of the property owners and the businesses there. And then there's a potential new business that's been going on at the north end by Justin Street. And if that business goes through, then they would be updating those sidewalks in front of that property. So we need to replace the sidewalks. They're really deteriorated in that area. And the Leslie Canyon culvert replacement, we're doing just at milepost 8.6 because that's the one that has a 10-ton load limit on it, which the people who live past that, if some of those people don't have wells, so they have water hauled to them, and it's like 50-mile detour for someone from Douglas to take water out to them because of the 10-ton load limit. So we hope to have that one finalized by August to bid. There's one property owner that we're still negotiating with to get a easement to construct part of the wing walls on the box culvert that we're replacing.
The what?
Box culvert.
Okay, wing.
The wing walls. Okay, wing walls is
Tapered.
the tapered out,
Okay.
correct. And to get it to fit, we need to go onto his property. And the person lives in New York. They don't live here. So we're negotiating. We'll start negotiating with them to get that. Close this one and read it.
Okay. Any other questions? All right. Well, let's see. Let me read my instructions here. The next meeting will be immediately following right now in the Board of Supervisors hearing room for a flood control district work session.